Final day of West Regional competition in the basketball tournament 2018. Who's moving on to the Super 16? Find out soon as the 7-seed Eberlein Drive takes on the 2-seed Team Colorado. Alongside former NCAA head coach Richie Schuler, I'm Sam Farmer. It is a pleasure and a privilege to have you with us here today in Los Angeles. Richie, in the play-in round, we saw a lot of teams that were participants in the basketball tournament. Yesterday, we saw teams that were competitors in the basketball tournament. If you win today, you're officially a contender, not just to be in this event, but to win the $2 million grand prize.
And it's been a really fun weekend. Great competitive basketball, a lot of professional basketball players on the course. This might be the best one of all, but by day's end, all across the TBT, 8 teams will have punched their tickets to the Super 16.
Let's get a look at what the bracket looks like at its current state, especially here in the West region. These are the 3 games we're going to see today. Later on, coming up next, actually, Challenge ALS City Team Blazers. That's the second game on the docket. The late night one is Albuquerque Hoops versus the UCLA alumni squad, Sons of Westwood. But first up, for the right to play Gale Force in the Super 16, Eberlein Drive and Team Colorado. Really good matchup. Eberlein Drive, the lower seed, but a lot of NBA talent led by Lou Amundsen.
And he's been terrific. Yesterday, 16.6 boards, played inside and out. Here's a guy who's a 6'9" power forward, played 10 years in the NBA. He is 35 years old now. He's not going to wow you with athleticism, but he is incredibly productive and efficient when he's out there. He is the heartbeat and the energizer for this squad.
There's a great fraternity of Buffalo basketball that makes up Team Colorado, and that university's all-time leading scorer, Richard Roby, expected to lead the way into the Super 16.
He's a 6'6" swingman out of San Bernardino right here in California. He's back after sitting out in last summer's TBT. He had a shoulder injury. His presence was felt yesterday. 20 points, 9 boards versus Kimchi Express. Here's another guy with a 10-year professional basketball career. Has taken him to 4 continents. Definitely a prominent piece of Team Colorado's 26 TBT runner-up team. And there's a lot of belief within that squad that they can get back to that title game this summer with him healthy and back in the rotation.
Both these teams got decent runs yesterday, in terms of framing up what level of competition. It is true, yesterday you had teams that were competitive but not necessarily contenders, but they did let these guys go out there and have one good game under their belt before a much higher level matchup here today.
And this is going to be a terrific matchup. Eberlein Drive, a number 7 seed. I know they felt a little slighted, and they feel like they should have been a higher seed than number 7. They have the opportunity to prove that right here against Team Colorado today.
Team Colorado, a runner-up in this tournament back in 2016. They firmly believe at some point the Buffalo alumni will be able to win one of these, and there is a serious thought that with Richard Roby coming back to this organization for 2018, that this could be the year.
Absolutely. They believe that. Last year couldn't play, was laid up with an injury. It even affected some of his professional season last year, but he is so good because he's a guy, and he actually talks about it. He models his game after a combination of Kobe Bryant and Ray Allen. Terrific basketball player, utility guy, can play all different spots on the floor. I think they have a really good chance with him in the lineup.
Eberlein Drive, a team that originated from a cul-de-sac in Detroit called Eberlein Drive. One of these teams where the original players are now more of a GM role, recruiting NBA players like the guy you see on your screen, number 17, Lou Amundsen, and a former star at Cal right there, Jerome Randall. But it's a team that certainly has the talent. The question coming into this tournament, would they be familiar with one another enough to gel and play against a team in Team Colorado that is used to playing together? Well,
they took out the Broad Street Brawlers yesterday, and that was an important piece of them having some chemistry, because they certainly don't have a lot of chemistry, not having played together a lot, but they are talented. And now the second game under their belt starting right now, no question they can compete with Team Colorado.
We're ready to start. The tip goes to Team Colorado, wearing white today, kind of the Colorado Buffalo-esque color scheme with the gold numbers and the black lettering. Eberlein Drive, a pretty awesome looking blue on blue uniform with the white numbers. Good steal here for Taylor Braun. Tries to go the distance, and he is fouled. Dominique Coleman picks up the personal and headed to the free throw line, the former North Dakota State star.
Talk about him being a star. Terrific career there at North Dakota State. Top 15 all-time in points, rebounds, and assists. And now has enjoyed a professional basketball career, just lately last played in Italy.
Also played in the G League last year for the Salt Lake City Stars, where he was a double-figure scorer. Opens the scoring here today. From Newberg, Oregon originally. He turned 27 just last Friday.
This young man bringing the basketball up the floor, Marcus Hall, 10-year pro, number 1 in the white jersey. He has been an absolute stud in his career. Last year in TBT, he was ranked the first in scoring and points per game at 28.
Roby does not get the roll. Interesting to see Eberlein drive open up in a 2-3 zone. We'll see if that continues. Down low, Kirk fadeaway jumper, crawls off the tin. Rebound to Roby.
Eberlein drive.
Man.
Yeah, going to man. They're going to switch that up. Probably what it is. And on made shots, they're going to go zone. And on missed shots, they'll probably go man.
Roby for 3. Yes.
Well, he was terrific yesterday with those 20 points to go along with 9 rebounds. What a career he's had professionally. Over 4 continents. That's terrific.
Jerome Randall in amongst the trees. Cal's all-time leading scorer on the board, and Eberlein drive up 1. No one stops the ball, though, and Marcus Hall will go coast to coast.
Well, we've seen, I believe, 3 scoring opportunities combined between these two teams on fast breaks. Transition defense is usually not something that's terrific with teams that come together with limited practice.
This is the round of 32 matchup in the winner-take-all $2 million TBT. Team Colorado, a runner-up 2 years ago. Roby driving on the 10-year NBA veteran. Fade away from the corner. Good stop defensively for Eberlein drive. Donald Sloan with the basketball. Another guy with some NBA time. Drains the free throw line jumper.
Such good talent. Eberlein drive, Lou Robinson, Donald Sloan, 2 guys with a lot of NBA experience, about 15 years between them.
Eberlein drive with a 1-point advantage, 6:30 remaining here in the opening quarter. Sam Farber, former NCAA head coach Richie Schuler, here with you at Cal State Los Angeles. With LeBron James in the best summer basketball tournament you're going to find, TBT. Another acrobatic lay-in right into your living room. Randall fell into the camera, and he is slow to get up. Colorado taking advantage of being a man up. Roby tips in the miss. Randall is standing, but still slow to get back into competition. The line drive with a 1-point lead. Finish inside by Donald Sloan.
Some frustration with Team Colorado right now on the defensive side. They got to get that cleaned up. But I admired the week of training camp in Boulder, Colorado for this group. Nice move by Marcus Cole in the 3-point shot. You see them picking up full court a little bit. They run some decent stuff on offense.
Randall, good look to the corner. Braun with the flush.
There's that defense again for Team Colorado. There seems to be some confusion. Nobody helping there after their teammate got driven by.
Braun gets the stop. Eberlein drive with a fast break. Braun, nice lead into the corner. Sloan wide open for 3.
Donald Sloan, 8-year pro, 5 years in the league. First time playing here in the TBT, though. What a pickup for Eberlein drive.
5-point advantage for the 7 seed, looking for an upset here against Team Colorado. Roby has some space. A lot of empty possessions for Team Colorado. Team that scored 105 in their win yesterday over Kimchi Express. Kirk drops in another timeout. Colorado.
It's a terrific way to start the basketball game if you're Eberlein drive. But I tell you what, Team Colorado, they're going to get it figured out. This is an organized group of guys, well-structured, good coaches, all guys from the CU family. And like I said, had a training camp, and they really look at this as a family atmosphere. It's an opportunity for them to reunite together.
Be ready to help, all right? Right. All right, and then you got to really close out. Close back, close out. You got to really close out. Finally got him to the screen. Without warning, close out. Offensively, listen. Let's go.
Dwight Thorne, the second head coach for Team Colorado. He's also the director of basketball operations for the University of Denver, in addition to being a Buffalo alum. And he started with defense. Eberlein Drive on a 7-0 run right now, Richie.
Stop the bleeding. That's why you call the timeout. Get your team regrouped together. And look at this, full court pressure we're going to see from Eberlein Drive. Not make it easy for Marcus Hall to bring the ball up. And I think Team Colorado is going to be fine. It's very early in the game, a lot of excitement, but that is not how they wanted to come out of the timeout. Great defense by Eberlein Drive.
I didn't know they drew up the play for me.
I think they were passing to you. They expected you, you claim you're such a good horse player.
I've given up horse. Now I play TBT.
And we played it yesterday.
That's right.
We played 2 games, and I'm going to give you credit. You beat me on one of those games. That's because I didn't want to get too sweaty. We got to go on air, you know.
Alex Kirk is pretty good at horse. The 7-footer hits from the top of the arc, and it's 20-10. Eberlein Drive doubling up Team Colorado. Coleman contested 2, too strong, and the 7-footer Kirk reels in the rebound. Sloan almost traveled. Now a foul called on a reach. It's either Coleman's second or Relford's first. We'll put it on Marcus Relford, his first. It takes us to a timeout on the floor. Eberlein Drive on a 10-0 run, trying to earn their way into the Super 16, the spot in Atlanta. Welcome back to Cal State LA, where you are watching West's second round action in the $2 million winner-take-all basketball tournament TBT. Excited to welcome Puma Basketball aboard as an official sponsor this year of the basketball tournament. Eberlein Drive on a 10-0 run, doubling up Team Colorado 20-10. Alex Kirk has 5. Donald Sloan has 7. And Richie Schuler, Eberlein Drive, winning points, winning rebounds, mostly winning rebounds because they're shooting 80% from the floor. They're not missing any shots for Team Colorado to recover.
Yeah, but that's somewhat Team Colorado's problem too. I mean, they have to find a way to make Eberlein Drive take low percentage shots. Don't let them get in the point to score. They've got 8 points in the paint, Eberlein Drive.
Inbounds play, Sloan in the corner, hits the 3, and the run is 13-0 for Eberlein Drive.
You don't think there's talent in the TBT? There's 3 players right now that played multiple years in the NBA on the court as we speak, with Lou Amundsen with 10 years of NBA experience on his belt sitting on the bench.
Another stop for Eberlein Drive. Randall with the handle, hangs in the air, kicks it out for Braun.
Wow.
Sharp back the other way for Team Colorado, trying to stop the bleeding here with 3 minutes remaining in the opening quarter.
Trying to ISO. They're trying to force that in to Relford. That results in a turnover. A little bit of helter-skelter for Team Colorado right now. Haven't seen them this shaken up before.
Cyrus Eldridge getting the steal. Drive by Sloan, one of those NBA veterans. Kirk another. He hits the corner 3. 7-footer with range. NBA, call him up. Relford, this on the drive, and Copeland out of bounds. It goes back to the Eberlein Drive, who are on a 16-0 run. Let's talk a little bit more about Alex Kirk, number 53 in blue, Richie. This is a guy who has only played 5 games in the NBA, played it with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but he's 7 feet tall. He can clearly shoot from distance. What is he missing maybe that is keeping him out of the league at present time.
I can't believe this. I'm sorry, you brought the Alex Kirk up, and now Eldridge with another three-pointer. Are we seeing Team Colorado be down by 19 points in the first quarter? The number 2 seed. Could they go down? You talk about Alex Kirk. He played those 5 games for the Cleveland Cavaliers the year that LeBron went back to Cleveland. So he was there for that. Haven't seen enough of him to really make that, give that correct evaluation. But I don't know. And I wonder if it's just productivity on the offensive end. I'm not so sure, but we're seeing his outside range. Is it that he's just not big and strong enough? But here's the thing about any basketball player or any athlete trying to make it to the big leagues. A lot of it's just timing. And what does that team need at that moment in time? And, the wave of basketball is to go smaller. I mean, how tall are a lot of these centers these days? And power forwards, they're small. Alex Kirk, big, strong guy at 7 foot. Maybe it's that a lot of NBA teams want to play at a faster pace and he's able to keep up with it. I really don't know the answer to that question.
Looks good so far today. So is Sloan. Fires and hits again. Donald Sloan has 13.
Wow. I don't think anybody realized this was going to happen. Finally.
Marcus Hall ends a 22-0 run.
Marcus Hall, 5th all-time in total points in TBT history. They're going to have to rely on number 1 in the white to get them back on track if you're a Team Colorado fan.
Eldridge. Might have been a heat check there, covered up by Copeland. Now Richard Roby. He'll take it all the way right past Curry. Richard Roby and Marcus Hall, the only 2 players who've scored so far for Team Colorado, each with 7.
Well, they have a big bench.
Big dunk for Alex Kirk.
Eberlein drive. Really felt they got slighted in the seeding process. They were not happy with the number 7 seed. A complete chip on their shoulder. And right now, they are absolutely demolishing, routing Team Colorado.
Roughly a 4-second game clock, shot clock differential. Sharp leaves it underneath for an easy lay-in for Roby. Jerome Randall trying to beat the buzzer. And might have been a pass to Kirk, didn't get it away. Looking the way Randall's walking off, I think that might have been a pass to Kirk. Would have put an exclamation point on an outstanding quarter. Eberlein drive up by 18. Eberlein drive with an 18-point lead. Getting ready to start the second quarter. How'd they build up that advantage? Well, they put the ball in the NBA veterans' hands and let them shoot threes. Combination of Alex Kirk and Donald Sloan, 5 for 5 from distance, and all told, Eberlein drive a healthy advantage both in three-point shooting and points off turnovers.
What's amazing about that, Team Colorado only have 4 turnovers. You would think that they had 7 or 8, 9, 10 by now. 11 points off 4 turnovers. I mean, that is some serious conversions. That's 3 threes
scoring on every one of them.
Yeah, incredible.
Team Colorado, the 2 seed in this tournament.
Well, let's keep in mind, Team Colorado has been on the flip side of this before. The championship game of the TBT 2 years ago, Team Colorado was up by 20 points on Overseas Elite and lost. And so they've been on the other side of this. This is a program team, a team of alums, a family atmosphere. I mean, they're not going to be scared to come back to this with 3 quarters left to play.
Good contest there from Team Colorado on defense. Christopher Copeland, another NBA veteran, with the volleyball spike out of bounds.
Wrong sport, Sam.
Tell him.
It's a good point.
They'll wipe down the basketball. 22 on the shot clock. Plenty of time for Eberlein drive.
You know, with the TBT FIBA goaltending rule, I haven't seen too many players utilize that yet.
Good drive by Amundsen, and he'll head to the line. I believe Copeland picks up the personal. And you know, it's interesting because if it were all guys just coming straight out of the G League or the NBA, you'd think, well, they're not used to it. But the majority of these players are currently playing international basketball, so
Correct.
they should be used to it.
Right. I'd like to see Chris Copeland, number 22 in the white, or Alex Kirk. Eberlein drives number 53, who just went out of the bench. 7-footer. I'd like to see some of these guys. That ball's rolling around on the rim. You're allowed to tap that ball off. You know, you can't goaltend in the sense that the ball's about to go inside on the way down, go in the rim, and you knock it out. But if it's rolling around the rim, you can touch it. It's fair game.
Amundsen goes 1 for 2, and then good pressure on the backside off the rebound forces another turnover. Randall lost his grip on the ball. Turnover back to Team Colorado.
Great defense. Taylor Braun. Now, see, I know it's a three-point shot, but it's a contested three-point shot. And Taylor Braun, right there, about to set the screen on the defensive end, number 24, did a great job of not allowing Team Colorado to get into the paint. Great on-the-ball defense. They had a kick out for a three. You can live with some of those contested three-point makes.
Another stop for Team Colorado. Sharp into the front court. Copeland on his spot again. Timeout, Eberlein drive.
Chris Copeland, the NBA sharpshooter. Played 3-4 years with the Knicks, Pacers, and Bucks. Averaged almost 9 points a game with the New York Knicks. Beautiful three-point shot. Here's a guy that had to play 6 years overseas before he ever got a shot at the NBA Summer League.
Played as a pro in Germany, Belgium, Turkey. And it's Team Colorado.
Anytime you're on one side, Shell. I got you.
Chris Copeland and Team Colorado cutting into the deficit, now trailing by 13. Sam Farber, Richie Schuler, here with you courtside at Cal State LA. Winner of this one advances to the Super 16. A reminder, we've got the South Regional going on right now as well in Richmond, Virginia. Very talented squads out there as well, trying to earn their way to Atlanta. Up to and including our three-time defending champs, Overseas Elite.
Such a good contest on that shot. Eberlein drive, number 17 on defense. 10 years in the NBA with 10 different teams, does everything right. A leadership guy, an energizer guy, great locker room guy. Great contest on that shot on Richard Roby. He's also a terrific screener on the offensive end. Watch him set screens, ball screens, off the ball screens. He's in the right place at the right time. Completely fundamental.
Copeland with the blow-by move. He's heating up. He was very quiet offensively yesterday. Was doing a lot more of the grit and grind. Today, with his team down big, he's taking the offensive end into his own hands.
I think for Team Colorado, yesterday was an opportunity for a lot of guys to get a lot of playing time. It was a 30-point rout. And now they're going to play guys that absolutely they have to have in the game.
Foul called on Copeland. His second personal. He is not happy about it. Drive with a 13-point lead. Step back three on the way. Yes.
And he says, call me. Long distance.
Fourth three for Donald Sloan. Roby creates an angle. He's the first Colorado team member into double figures.
See how he just kind of glides. It's all because that shot fake.
Colorado with the steal and a jump ball on the tie-up. Arrow favors Eberlein drive. Check that. Referees coming together saying it should have been Team Colorado, so they were on top of it. Copeland didn't get the roll. Offensive board, though, for Colorado.
Copeland wants it again. That out-of-bounds play was just a setup for him to go ISO. And now here's an opportunity to go ISO again. Good kick out.
Sharp from the elbow.
Eberlein drive starting to cool off a little bit. Team Colorado starting to figure out how they need to guard them. 6 points in this quarter. They were just on fire in the first.
34.9-minute quarter. Sloan thought he had that one, missed the three, and then Amundsen hit with a loose ball foul. Now he's not happy about the call.
Well, we saw that once or twice yesterday, too. I think in the NBA, you play a much more physical style, and you can get away with some little things that they're calling here. These officials are big-time college officials. Watch Amundsen right now, number 17 in the blue. Just a little push in the back. You can barely see it there, and I don't think there was a whole lot of contact. Something you might be able to get away with in the NBA, but with college officials, not the NCAA level.
Randall trying to feed Kirk, couldn't handle the pass, and it went off one of the Colorado players' feet. (40-26) in favor of Eberlein drive. Coming up on the 5 minutes to go mark here in the first half. Amundsen bangs his way down low. Missed the shot. An offensive board for Osiris Eldridge. His corner three is good.
Well, that baseline out-of-bounds play was designed for Eldridge to get a three-pointer or at least catch the ball on one of the perimeter sides. Ended up getting the ball anyway.
Copeland, good move. He's got 10.
What a big, strong frame. He's coming off a lingering foot injury. Kind of set him back a little bit. Didn't participate in the training camp. So he is a little bit rusty trying to get back in shape with that ankle.
Foul called on Marcus Hall. Whistled for a hold, his first personal. See Chris Copeland, the NBA veteran. Colorado has been an outstanding TBT participant, but you know there are some certainly NBA names, Chauncey Billups out there, Copeland, but it's not a program you immediately think of as having all kinds of these NBA guys. But when you look at the alumni ranks and the guys they bring into the TBT in particular, what they're doing as pros, it is an incredibly successful program right now being led by Dwight Thorne.
And I know they believe there's really like 3 GMs that kind of oversee Team Colorado. And it's a 501c3 nonprofit, so they're able to get donations to pay for a lot of their travel and meals and whatnot. But they've done a great job uniting players from different eras. Players that played for Ricardo Patton, Jeff Pizdelic, Tad Boyle. These are all former and the current head coach Tad Boyle at Colorado.
And look, if you've been to Boulder, Colorado, you want to reminisce about your time there. Beautiful place.
Yeah. Are you a skier?
I am not, but I'm a big basketball fan. Foul called on the other end. By the way, Randall with that bucket, he now has 6. Cal's all-time leading scorer, number 2 in blue, extending the advantage. Eberlein drive up by 17. 3:54 left in the half. wins and advances to the Super 16 in Atlanta will be as happy as a Frenchman on the Champs-Elysees today. TBT 2018, the $2 million winner-take-all tournament. And right now we've got an upset in the making with the 7-seed Eberlein Drive leading Team Colorado by 17.
That first quarter owned by Eberlein Drive, 34-16. And this is a team, again, they're a team that felt they got slighted in the seeding process. And they're out to prove that. And Team Colorado is a team that's supposed to make the Super 16. So to knock them off en route to going to Atlanta, that's going to prove them something. This is a team that's talented, a team that could certainly make noise in the later rounds if they can get there.
Richard Roby at the line for two. Hits the first. Colorado's all-time leading scorer. Leads his team today with 13 points. Donald Sloan, overall top scorer. He's got 18. Making 4 threes already in this first half.
Look at those screens. That's what I'm talking about. Amundsen set a beautiful ball screen and a terrific roll. That's the best screen and roll I've seen all weekend. Those things go unnoticed. People don't look for that, but fundamental footwork makes all the difference.
Dominic Coleman answers with a triple. Coleman, it's his birthday today. He's 34.
Happy birthday.
Randall drops it down to Amundsen. Good defense by Colorado here. They get the triple team and the steal. 3-on-2. And Randall picks his pocket. First personal, 4th team foul. Next foul will be sending Eberlein Drive to the line.
Team Colorado now with 7 turnovers. Eberlein Drive has scored on 14 points off their turnovers. That's the name of the game. Team Colorado, take care of the basketball.
Randall swatted, but it'll stay with Eberlein Drive. Jerome Randall last year was part of the Always a Brave team. Chicago native, Cal's all-time leading scorer, joining Eberlein Drive in 2018. Osiris Eldridge. Hall hangs, and off the heel, won't go down. Rebounds Eberlein Drive. Braun on the run out. Braun is the lay-in. Relford. Good ball fake. Missed the lay-in again.
Wow. This is not the Team Colorado we saw yesterday.
And Relford will go to the line.
Team Colorado's out of sorts. I remember watching them yesterday. I was like, wow, they have great chemistry. They move the ball so well. They do a terrific job with sets offensively. Defensively, they look structured and organized. And not to say they aren't today, but Eberlein Drive came out, and figuratively speaking, came out and punched him in the mouth very early in the contest. Got those 34 points in the first quarter. And that now has Team Colorado out of sorts. And it seems like at this point in time, when you get this kind of deficit, everybody's looking to make a play. You're not really trusting the system. You're really just trying to get buckets. And you're trying to spark the team to get back to that point. We may be seeing that a little bit with Team Colorado.
That's the head coach for Eberlein Drive there, David Nurse, talking to the official. Nurse, a sharpshooter during his career at Western Illinois. Relford goes 1 for 2. 13-point advantage right now for Eberlein Drive. They've put it in cruise control more or less after, at one point, leading by as many as 22. Sloan passed up a 3, and a hand check is going to go against Dominic Coleman. That is the 5th foul, so Sloan will head to the free throw line. He talked about the NBA guys. He's one of them that really we haven't talked a whole lot about, but Played on the Pacers 2014 team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals. 5 NBA seasons, over 200 games, including 66 starts.
Wow, that's terrific. He must have played alongside Darren Collison, huh? I saw Darren Collison as head coach.
He'll be in our next
Yesterday.
game, Challenge ALS. Donald Sloan, a 20-point half.
Wow. And 17 yesterday for the whole game.
Still got 2 minutes left of this thing. This half, I should say.
Look at this very active 2-3 zone. A lot of players, teams will play a 2-3 zone, and they just kind of use it as a way to take a break. But this Eberlein drive team does it the right way. Active, they're talking, they're getting to their rotations.
Great cut, great feed. Kirk just missed the finish. Williams lost it out of bounds. It'll stay with Team Colorado. Subs coming in. Copeland will replace Jeremy Williams.
Jeremy
Roby's coming out as well. Sharp.
Colorado's slowly chipping away at this.
Less than a minute to play in the half. Randall threads the needle to Kirk, and he'll be back at the line.
How about that pass? Passing through the lane from one wing to the opposite block. Look at Randall to have the courage to make that pass. Copeland was in there. He threaded the needle right in the perfect spot. Very difficult pass to make and not get picked off.
A lot of Team Colorado players talking to officials right now. Pretty much everyone on the floor has got an official they're chatting with.
You have to work the refs, trying to make a comeback. See, in my opinion, that should count for something. Alex Kirk made those free throws. Well, why doesn't Randall get an assist or half an assist or something? You put the ball in the right place. His teammate did score. He just didn't score the field goal. He scored on a free throw because he received the pass in the proper location. Maybe we can talk to John Mugar and make that a TBT stat.
I like it.
You can dig it?
We're going to wipe down the floor here.
And that was your job when you were in school, right? Like you were the guy that wiped down the...
No, sir.
No?
No. My job was to stand in the corner and get out of the way. If you get it, shoot it. 51-36 our score. Sam Farber, the former NCAA head coach Richie Schuler, here with you at Cal State LA. A reminder later today, Challenge ALS versus team of Drew League All-Stars, City Team Blazers, and Sons of Westwood versus Albuquerque Hoops, the nightcap. The three from the corner for Marcus Hall. Last year's TBT scoring leader, averaging 28 per game. He's in the double figures today. Here's Strip. Good pressure from Relford. They want a timeout. Now we've got a timeout for Team Colorado.
That's terrific. He had, I think, 3 arms coming in at him, trying to get that basketball, and he was able to get a timeout call. That's terrific. Look at him on the floor, the hustle. Team Colorado, they're not going away. Look at him, get a piece of that basketball, and he's able to yell timeout to the officials. All those arms are down there trying to get a piece of the ball.
Hey, come back, man. Get the ball. Orange coat. If you got to flat.
Actually, I want it in the pro lane, so I want 3 on that side.
Hey, they in a man-to-man zone. Look at this. Look at this matchup zone. Look at this.
That's what I wanted in the apron.
Can I show you something? Have him come off the horns, off Coach's side, and this right here is a screen for Coach.
Yeah.
You play the mid. Wide ass over. Take it from the rest.
Set an angle. Get an angle. 1 on 2. So Kobe, you got this.
Let Coach coach.
And I'm here. And we're going to figure it out. It's all defense, y'all. All defense.
Richie, what are we looking for?
Well, they're going to come out of this timeout and run the horns play. They're going to have a ball screener at the top of the key. 2 ball screeners at the top of the key. The point guard has an option. He can go off the right or he can go off the left. And look for shooters to be in both corners. So really, Marcus Hall here with the basketball is going to have an option. Okay, they went to something else. They called horns, but then they decided to do something else, it looks like.
Hall, kick to Coleman. Back to Hall in the corner, 4-3. And that's going to be the last shot of the half. Eberlein drive, a double-digit advantage, 51-39 on top of the 2 seed, the runner-up from 2016 Team Colorado.
Well, Eberlein drive absolutely demolished the first quarter, but Team Colorado starting to make a comeback, 12-point game when we come back.
2 years ago, overseas Elite beat Team Colorado. The Buffs were hoping to get back there. Right now, they are down by 12 at half. Coming up next, first half highlights and stats from Cal State LA. It's TBT 2018. The 7th seed in this West Regional, Eberlein drive, bidding for an upset of 2016's runner-up, Team Colorado. Back here at Cal State LA, alongside former NCAA head coach Richie Schuler, I'm Sam Farber. Richie, first quarter, really the back half of it was all Eberlein drive. They went on a 20-point run, and were able to just kind of coast throughout the second quarter.
Well, they have a chip on their shoulder. The 7th seed, they're not happy with. They thought they should be a top 3, maybe top 4 seed. So a little chip on their shoulder. They showed that in their first quarter. But Team Colorado, they're organized. They're good. I expect a good run from them here in the third quarter.
I'll tell you what, Donald Sloan might have a chip on his shoulder as well. We keep talking about the NBA guys and TBT. We keep forgetting about him. He's got as much NBA time as anyone in this tournament, and he went off in the first half.
7 of 9 from the field. 4 of those 3-pointers to finish with 20 points. He played every minute on the floor.
On the other side, Team Colorado had a couple of scorers, Richard Roby, but really it was just about keeping this one within range for them to come back.
Yeah, Richard Roby played well. He's 5-11 from the field, 13 points. He did have 5 boards. Chris Copeland, though, he's showing that NBA marksmanship with his sharp shooting ability. He hit a pair of 3-pointers, 10 points in 11 minutes. And I think you're going to really rely on those guys here in the second half.
First half stats for you, Eberlein drive, shooting better than 50% from the field. Points off turnovers really loom large. And, you know, one stat that's really difficult to keep at conversations with referees, I think there is something to be said for the fact that Team Colorado is out of sorts enough that they are looking for other things other than just playing better basketball to come back right now.
They're going to be fine. They have 12 points off the bench. That's double the amount of points Eberlein drives has. This is a group of players that have been playing together for the last week and a half. They're very much a family atmosphere. We keep talking about that. They're going to be okay. This third quarter, they've calmed down. They've had 10 minutes to really talk about everything, figure out what they're going to do. I'm really expecting them to come out really strong here in the first 5 minutes of the third.
Team Colorado, head coach Dwight Thorne II, a Buff alum. See him there in the black polo on the left, just blocked out. There he is on the left side. And there are a lot of really good coaches. Let's listen in here to them.
You got it. They made Rich Cope on the baseline right here. Marcus Ref. Dribble him out. Marcus Hall loop around to the top. Cope ball screen. Rich, you get all the way to the corner. Marcus Ref should be here. Come off of it and make sure you got 3 options. You got Cope rolling. You got Rich in the corner. And you got Marcus Ref here. All right?
Hey, bro, believe.
All right, Richie. Well, unless Eberlein Drive was watching this game on Watch ESPN Inside the Huddle, what do you think is going to happen here on this play?
Well, I completely butchered their play at the end of the first half. They called horns. I thought they were doing one thing. They must have different terminology, but expect that first play for Team Colorado. It looks like Chris Copeland might be setting the ball screen and rolling, and you're going to see Richard Roby going to the opposite corner, possibly for a 3. Now, Donald Sloan's right in front of us. You think he heard us?
Hey, you said it. I didn't.
I guess I'm the one that gets in trouble.
Eberlein Drive, moving left to right, the blue uniforms. And a good stop defensively for Team Colorado right out of the gates. See how that play works.
They're going to something different. They're just going a little ISO for our man Marcus Hall. Next time they have a chance to walk the ball up the floor, that's probably the play they're going to run.
Kirk blocked.
Here it is. See if they run it here. Here comes the screen and roll. A little pop out. Good second effort by Roby. Keep that alive and give him a second chance. See, I told you, they're going to come out second half ready to play. A new frame of mind. They were down 20 at one point, now it's 7. And all 4 players on these teams that have multiple years of NBA experience on the floor today.
Randall, nice slip pass for Kirk, but Colorado was there to read it. Out of bounds will stay with Eberlein drive.
This game
high 5 assists. Sorry, Richie.
Saying this game right here is a great battle test for both these teams. One of these teams is going to make the Super 16. That's a reach, and Lou Amundsen able to garner that foul. One of these teams is going to make the Super 16. And there is going to be some serious talent down there in Atlanta. By day's end, 8 teams from the South region and here at the West region will have made the Super 16.
Taylor Braun to inbound. And a 5 count.
18 Colorado, new frame of mind. Good hard defense, second efforts, scoring the ball a little bit more. They're feeling good. Nice split.
Shovel pass. Copeland. Too strong. Ron turns on the Jets. And a great recovery by Dominique Coleman. Here come the Buffs. That's a charge.
Beautiful setup. Lou Amundsen just sitting there waiting for it and took it. If we get to see the replay of this, we'll see if his feet were outside the restricted circle. I'm pretty confident they were. Look, he's just waiting, and he just takes the hit. That's a veteran player right there with a dozen years of professional experience. And maybe that right heel just barely, maybe, touching the restricted circle, but too close to call.
Lead is 8 for Eberlein drive. They were up a dozen heading into the locker room. Foul goes on Dominique Coleman. That's his 3rd.
It's going to be interesting to see how is Eberlein drive going to handle this onslaught Team Colorado is trying to give to him.
Can definitely sense a different personality from this Team Colorado side. Not talking to the refs, they're talking much more to each other. And the bench is much louder and having much more of an impact here. Foul is called.
Well, you can just,
Relford picks up his 4th.
I mean, they're picking up fouls, but they have an extremely deep bench. These fouls, what that means is that they're playing aggressive. And they're really trying to get after it on the ball, trying to impose their will here early in the second half. Look at that, another deflection by Marcus Hall. I mean, they're playing with a much different energy level than they played in the first half. They just walked out on the floor to begin the game. Eberlein drive went all over. It's a different story right now. They are pushing back.
Eberlein drive is yet to score here in the second half. We're 2.5 minutes into it. Sloan contested 2. Second chance for the drive. Sloan. Euro step. Copeland says no, sir.
Oh, you remember yesterday with Copeland. mean, he was all over the place. I remember you early in the game were so enamored with how many deflections he had and how much he was involved with basketball plays. Watch him with the help side here. Gets in the right place, blocks that one out of bounds. And keep in mind, too, now, Eberlein Drive, and one big reason they caught such a big lead, they had 8 3-pointers. That's 24 of their points in the first half, almost half of them. They have yet to make a field goal thus far in the third.
6 of those 8 threes were in the first quarter. So they have cooled off significantly from deep. And an offensive foul. Lou Amundsen.
All of his fouls are usually some sort of soft or touch foul. I really believe that when you play in the league that long, you're used to playing a different way. Now you're playing collegiate rules, or at least most NCAA rules, not all of them. Makes things a bit different.
Roby muscles his way inside. Great contest from the 7-footer Kirk. Randall trying to slip it down low. Amundsen looked like backing down, trying to box out to create some space. A little off on that connection. And the drought for Eberlein Drive continues. Now 3 minutes, 15 seconds without any points. Oakland.
Seemed to be going to that ISO. Did it for Marcus Hall in the post early in the third. Now Chris Copeland.
7-0 run to start the half for Team Colorado, and they've got a steal. Relford. He'll go to the line.
It's such a tough play to guard. Coleman was looking for somebody to cross the half-court line. Found Relford. Lou Amundsen's back there just kind of waiting for him to come, but Relford's got a full head of steam going right at him. You see it here. Disadvantage Amundsen. Great job by Relford to make a play. He'll get 2 free throws.
Timeout taken by Eberlein Drive. Now it's Lou Amundsen having some words with the officials. In the game of basketball, really in any sport, there's almost always something to argue about. But I'll have to say, from where we sit, it's been a pretty darn well officiated competition. Yeah. The pace of play in particular has been outstanding.
The whole tournament. These officials are terrific. These are big time officials at the NCAA level. Every game.
Again, that's not to say that there's always room for argument. It's basketball. If you watch the NBA, they argue almost everything. But we're not seeing constant whistles. The flow of the game has not been interrupted, and that's something you really want when you have talent of this caliber out there. You want to see them play, and they're being allowed to play.
The calls are... Officiating is called differently at all different levels. It's going to be different from a Division III game than a Division I game. Certainly different than an NBA game, and certainly different than an international game. You could take it even further than that. Different continents call basketball in different ways. Within the college level, different conferences, Pac-12 coach may call something different than an SEC, or a Pac-12 official different than an SEC official. And it's all different across the board, and you really have to kind of get used to the officials. You got to kind of find out what that strike zone is early in the game or early in the tournament.
Also, from the player's perspective, sometimes NBA, NCAA, you see guys with a lot of head movements, throwing the arms up, trying to earn a foul, kind of World Cup style.
Yep.
We have seen none of that, really. I can't recall a game where we had someone really trying to sell one of the calls. They're just playing good, hard basketball. It's been a lot of fun. Relford goes 1 for 2. It feels like an avalanche of points, but really it's an 8-0 run. Team Colorado's not scoring a ton, but their defense has been outstanding to start the second half. Randall hits the deep 2 plus a foul.
They needed that spark. They hadn't scored all half until right then. A lot of times you come out cold. Now, this is a Horns play. He can go either direction. Elects for that 2. Might have been the high school 3. But that yellow line is that 3-pointer. Got the 2 and 1. A lot of teams that were really hot in the first half may come out really cold in the second. That first 5 minutes of a half makes such a big difference. Really set the tone for the entire half based on how you come out.
That ended a 4-minute dry spell for Eberlein Drive. They still lead it by 8.
Comes the ISO again.
Relford for 3. Eldridge, great cut in there by Shannon Sharp to get the steal. Now Relford all the way with the left hand. Lead back down to 6.
Look at
Relford running again. Sloan. Yes.
That's one guy you can rely on. He had 4 of those in the first half, now 5.
Averaged 18-plus points per game in the G League last year, the NBA veteran. Now Kirk, the swat. Eberlein Drive, Randall, all the way for the lay-in. Lead balloons back to 11.
So if you're Eberlein Drive now, you're starting to take good control of the game again. Team Colorado, they've got to continue this spark. Out of bounds or a foul?
Foul. Foul goes on Alex Kirk. We got a timeout on the floor. Eberlein Drive leading by 11. Team Colorado an extended run to start the second half, but Eberlein Drive a nice spurt pushed the lead back to double figures, 59-48. Out in the South region, 3 teams have already punched their ticket to the Super 16, including the 3-time defending champs Overseas Elite. They'll see Louisiana United in Atlanta. Team DRC, an upset over Memphis State. Right now, Atlanta Dirty South leads Ram Nation on the VCU home floor. DRC getting 26 points today from Darius Washington, 7 of 8 from the line. Solid effort for him. That team gets the winner of Dirty South versus the VCU alumni squad, Ram Nation.
Did you see the crowd yesterday for the Ram Nation game? Place was absolutely packed. If you haven't seen it, go to Twitter and find the clip. It was terrific. I bet you it's even more so today, a Sunday afternoon in Richmond, Virginia. Of course, don't leave this game, but, go to your other tablet, phone, or computer, or borrow somebody else's. You can watch both. That crowd is incredible.
And it's something that, as this tournament evolves, I would not be surprised to see alumni squads bidding on host rights.
Yeah.
I mean, if your team, Colorado, this is a great unit that they have put together of alumni that like to play, want to play, get great support from the community. Hey, if they can sell it, why not go to Boulder and have the West region out there? Same way they're doing for VCU. Not to say that they selected that squad and said that alumni team gets the home game, but I mean, hey, if you're willing to put forth the effort to fill the seats, could be a great way to take this tournament to the next level for these early rounds.
100% agree with you. I mean, it's worked out well. Richmond, Virginia is just a great place to have it. VCU team just decided to make a team, and it worked out for them. I'm interested to see, we have 2 terrific basketball teams here, and Colorado's trying to make a little bit of a run. But here's the thing. The Elam ending is coming up at the end of the 4th quarter. And the clock will be turned off, and we will have a target score, 7 more than the leading team at the time. So I could see Team Colorado still trailing. The way they went on a run, I could see them doing the exact same thing again here at the end of the game.
See the rules on the Elam ending. First stoppage at or under 4 minutes in the 4th quarter. We'll turn off the clock. Target score will be 7 points on top of whatever the leading team has at that time, and the first squad to reach it gets it. Copeland, little nicked up there on that last foul. He was holding his hand. Missed the free throw.
Eberlein Drive until that free throw on a 7-0 run.
A 12-point lead, exactly the same advantage Eberlein Drive enjoyed at halftime. So all that extended work for Team Colorado, the first 4 minutes of this second half erased. Randall spots up a deep two, got his own rebound, gets it again, and out of bounds. A Colorado player was standing on the baseline.
Team Colorado made an initial run here in the third, but you can see the frustration setting in again. And yeah, some confusion on that call. The official, I think, called it correctly.
Sloan. Offensive board for Kirk, but loses the handle out of bounds. It'll go back to Team Colorado. Just over 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
He's fun to watch. And he's played all over the world himself. Europe, lastly, Japan. But, I mean, he is all over those rebounds. If he's not getting that board, he's getting a piece of that basketball. And if he's not getting a piece of the basketball, he's actually taking out players so they can't get it.
All for three. And Colorado needed that one. Marcus Hall has 15, back to a single-digit deficit for Team Colorado.
Eldridge.
Answers.
That's what happens when you pick up full court pressure. A lot of times you have odd numbers and somebody's open on the back end.
Hall with the floater, yes.
Hey, he can absolutely take over this game. Hey, he's a walking bucket, and I expect him to handle the ball quite a bit here in this last quarter plus.
Kirk splits the double team, finish and the foul.
That's one way to stop Team Colorado's momentum. You see it right here. It's a beautiful pick and roll, but then it just comes down to player development and ability level. Alex Kirk was able to split two different defenders en route to getting that and-one layup.
Played in the Japanese league a year ago. Former Cleveland Cavalier. Foul on Eldridge. Second personal. And that's the 5th team foul, so free throws now for both sides in this last minute of the third quarter. Marcus Hall played in the Turkish league last year. Also in the Lebanese league. Made appearances in Bulgaria, Italy, Turkey, Venezuela, the G League. And of course, TBT, he's a legend here.
He is that. 5th all-time in scoring, 4th all-time in made threes in TBT history. And the double dribble, that is terrific on-the-ball defense by Team Colorado, Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, number 2 in white for Team Colorado. Manager of Jordan Clarkson of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Works with the infamous basketball trainer in Drew Hanlon, who works with a lot of NBA players. YouTube sensation. YouTube Shannon Sharp, basketball. You see quite a few highlight dunks.
Another foul here on the drive. Goes on Osiris Eldridge, his 3rd. 67-55, Eberlein Drive with the lead. Donald Sloan leading the way, 23 points, but 20 of them came in the first half. Since the break, Jerome Randall has picked up more of the scoring for Eberlein. Colorado, Richard Roby at the charity stripe, looking for his first point of the second half, and he's still looking for it.
Pretty good first half. Hasn't really been productive here, obviously, offensively in the second. But he hasn't been getting a lot of shots either. And that doesn't happen every day.
Got a
Do they count it? I think they
blew the
should
whistles
count it.
first.
I think they should count it. If he missed it, then give him another opportunity.
They had blown it dead. The officials had blown it dead and come walking in ahead of it already. They're going to try and fix whatever's going on with the scoreboard. Richard Roby, a little bit used to dealing with some distractions in a game, playing overseas. Talked to his bio about playing in Greece during a 3-week garbage strike. Roads were not fun. Said he was on an Israeli team, and protesters in Turkey threw anything they could on the court. Kind of ran the team right off of it.
Right.
It is not always an NBA environment when you're playing internationally. A lot of these guys, they've got great experiences. They've got interesting experiences playing overseas.
Oh, yeah. I've had buddies play overseas. I had a buddy play in Israel like 15 years ago. He was there a week. He could see bombs being exploding outside his window. Told his agent, get me out of here now. That was during a crazy time in Israel's history. We have one player that's in the TBT, not playing this game, talked about how one time he was in a game overseas, and they started throwing firecrackers on the floor, all the fans. Everybody ran right off the court. Call them M80 bombs, firecrackers. I don't know why, but that's what they call them. You tell me, Sam.
It's pretty good firepower.
Must be. Not your average firecracker.
The clock is, or the scoreboard has some lights flashing on and off. I think that might have been why Richard Roby was confused and just heaved the ball down the floor. Eberlein drive, almost turned it over. Braun open, look for 3. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Eberlein drive started the third quarter with a 12-point lead, and they end it with a 12-point advantage. We got the fourth quarter coming up. Can Eberlein drive pull off the upset and eliminate Team Colorado before the Super 16? Back to LA in a minute to find out. Welcome back to Cal State LA, where you are watching West's second round action in the $2 million winner-take-all basketball tournament, TBT. Excited to welcome Puma Basketball aboard as an official sponsor this year of the basketball tournament. Eberlein drive, hoping to add their name to the list of champions. Overseas elite, 3-time defending. Prior to that, it was the Fighting Alumni of Notre Dame. Eberlein drive, a very interesting mix of players, lots of high-level professional experience, including number 17 right there in the front of your screen, Lou Amundsen, 10 years in the NBA, over 400 career games in the National Basketball Association. Played in almost 30 playoff games, was with that Suns team in 2010 that made the Western Conference Finals, losing to Kobe's Lakers. They might not have the same chemistry or familiarity with each other that the Colorado players do, but in terms of talent, they're as good as anyone in this tournament.
Well, back in 2014, Sports Illustrated named the Eberlein Drive team the worst team in the TBT. And here they are now with a chance to go to the Super 16 against the number 2 seed Team Colorado. And those are the kind of things, those second efforts and those third efforts by Team Colorado, that's going to get them back in it. Eberlein Drive, now they've cooled off. They only had 4 turnovers at halftime. They had 8 in the third quarter alone. But Team Colorado's defense has really been picking up.
Just so you know, for reference, Eldridge, nice drop off to Amundsen. Block called first, so wipe the bucket off. Default will get the foul. In 2014, Eberlein Drive did not have Lou Amundsen when they were seated worst in the TBT.
Or Donald Sloan.
Or really anyone on the current roster.
It's a bunch of buddies that lived in a cul-de-sac in a suburb of Detroit.
But they were the best cul-de-sac in Detroit.
They had to have been.
In terms of basketball.
Or at least the only ones on national TV.
That's true.
This is an open application tournament. Anybody can put a team together.
We encourage you to do so.
All right, forget this. Next year, you and I, we're not doing this TV thing for the TBT. You and I are going to go on a team for the team. Not a GM. We're going to be players in the TBT.
I'm ready.
Down? All right.
What's the team name? Good team names. Good logos.
The Schulers.
Here.
The Schulers. Yes. You don't like that? Yeah. About to get real interesting over here with the Elam ending after the final 4-minute timeout. We're going to shut that clock off, and we're going to go right to the Elam ending. We're going to have a target score. Whoever the leading team is, we're going to add 7 to that target score, turn the clock off, and that target score is what you have to get to win this basketball game. I like it. The TBT experiment. A new way to end basketball games.
It's created some really interesting finishes, and it just added some excitement to what is affectionately known as garbage time in some games.
Yep.
And in others, I mean, it's just taken the fouling out and put the skill of this great game back into play in those final moments.
No, there's no holding the ball, no running the clock out. You have to win on a made shot. Oh, that's what they needed. And one. Have to see the replay to see who that dump pass was from, but I think Marcus Hall is the one that dropped that down to Sharp. Oh, Relford. Oh, yeah, it does go to Hall. And look at, see, that's where it came from. Sharp had the presence of mind from the top of the key to go down the paint, and Marcus Hall was able to dump it down to him for 2. Make it 3.
Shannon Sharp has not played professionally since really at any time. He went straight into more of a management role, as you talked about earlier, but showing off his skills here. It's down to a single-digit deficit once again, 69-60. Randall turns it over. Hall pulls his way inside. Hall's got 20. Timeout. Eberlein drive.
Hall took that coast to coast, got the steal right under the opposite basket, took it all the way, created some space, and was able to get a basket. Look at the steal. Boom, he's right there. Takes it all the way for 2. Again, he is a walking bucket. He's a legend in TBT.
Let's go. Offensively, keep getting the movement. Let's go into half. Jay, open side, pick and roll. What do you want, D? Just keep moving? All right, just keep moving. Okay, that's cool. All right, I'm with you. Just keep moving. Just pick and roll, keep moving, keep flowing. Don't hold.
Let's go. Hey, defense, keep deep.
Hey,
Right
going
here.
to 3. Going to 3. 3 defense. Family, 1, 2, 3. Hey.
Interesting that head coach David Nurse pulled out right away that the team was down, saying, hey, we're the ones up 7. Why are we down in terms of emotional state heading into that timeout?
You know, as a coach, what a lot of what you are, you're a psychologist. And you have to make sure that the mentality of the teams are in the right place. Team Colorado is going to take it right to them. They're going to pressure full court, might even trap here. No trap. They're not going to make it easy for Sloan to bring the ball up the court.
Sloan, 20 of his 23 in the first half.
Oh.
Gets his way into the bucket.
A little pep talk by David Nurse, giving them that vote of confidence. Yeah, they're making a run, but we're fine. You're okay. They've got to come back and beat you.
Loose ball. Colorado has it. Down low, Copeland. Missed the bunny. Second try goes through. 15 for Christopher Copeland.
Eberlein drive only has 1 timeout remaining, and they're going to see pressure for the rest of the game.
Eldridge,
That's
nice
a charge.
feed to Kirk, but a charge wipes it off.
And Chris Copeland on the ground, clutching his head, and he took a hard one there on taking that charge. Way to take one for the team. We hope it doesn't take Copeland out.
Trainers hustling over.
Well, it's beautiful basketball on the defensive end. Chris Copeland stepping up. Did a good job of breaking the press, Eberlein drive, but Copeland just sitting there waiting even after the pass was made. He took a hard hit to the ground. Let's see when he hit his head. He just knocked it to the ground hard, and with his own teammate falling on top of him,
I think
helped.
it's Sharp coming down from behind because Copeland was in great position to take it. Took it in the chest, so he's falling straight back. But as you do that, you're not really in a position to take anyone else coming in and making contact with you. So good to see him up.
But that could be a momentum swinger. You get a big stop like that in the defensive end, that kind of gets the team going again. You're only down 7, and the time doesn't matter. It's about the score. With the Elam ending, the clock turning off shortly after the 4-minute mark, anything can happen.
Offensive board for Colorado. Great look down low. Rough look. Couldn't finish. Good contest by Kirk.
A lot of easy shots down inside being missed from Team Colorado.
Nice finish by Sloan.
6'3" Sloan taking it at the 6'8", 240. Copeland.
Texas A&M alum. Now has 27. Relford drains the triple. And now a steal, a timeout. No, he was not on the ground.
Good call by the official. Frustrating for Team Colorado, but you know who's even more frustrated? Eberlein drive. They're having to go up against this ball pressure full court. And they're having a difficult time with it. Again, only one timeout. They don't want to burn it now. You want to save it for the end of the game in case you have to draw something up.
Team Colorado trailed by 12 entering the quarter. They've cut the deficit in half. About 90 seconds away from the Elam ending going into effect. They, of course, want to be as close as they can be once they turn that clock off. Randall hits the triple. Almost looked like he lost the handle in midair. Still nothing but nylon. And a foul called.
Marcus Hall, he's hot. He's hot. Didn't appreciate the contact there, but gotta like Donald Sloan calming him down. Everybody's cool. Basketball is an emotional game, but look at this. Breaking this pressure so well. Traps on one side of the floor. A three-pointer by Randall on the other side of the floor. And he was helped by the Team Colorado defender guarding him, who fell to the ground. Same guy putting pressure on Copeland.
Relford in and out. Offensive rebound. And wipe it off.
The emotions are kicking in for both teams. The frustrations for Team Colorado. This thing is starting to slip away from them. Marcus Hall, we know how much he can score. Great shot fake to get Kirk in the air, but take it. And Donald Sloan stepping up to take that charge. Beautiful defensive basketball by Eberlein drive.
Eberlein drive, this team of seasoned professionals. They have earned this 9-point advantage. They want to continue to gel and see what they can do. In the Super 16, Team Colorado, they want to get back to that championship game and keep this fraternity party going.
And we're talking to one of their GMs, Trent Beckley. Finished at Colorado in 2011, more like the chairman of the board these days. And he really believes this Team Colorado can win this TBT. They will continue this family atmosphere for years to come.
Great thing about alumni teams, always have a new crop of talent ready to join the crew. Kirk behind the Amundsen three, and they're wiping it off. An offensive foul, illegal screen on Amundsen.
So he's frustrated. Amundsen talking to the official. He has 3 fouls now, 4. And at least the 3 of these fouls, he doesn't feel like it's a foul. Look at the replay here. He's holding off, and the defender is trying to push through him. And I think what Lou's trying to tell the official is, he's pushing me. I'm in position. I'm just trying to hold him off so I don't fall over.
Copeland gets his man in the air. Nice spin. And the ball falls right in the lap of Shannon Sharp, who now has 9 points. Deficit cut back down to 7. Less than 30 seconds away from next whistle instituting the Elam ending. Kirk, baseline jumper, he's fouled.
Well, they're doing a good job of breaking the press for the most part, and then they're getting opportunities, 3-on-2s on the other end of the floor. But you're seeing Right here is Lou Almondson going baseline, getting up to Kirk, and Relford just trying to contest it. But once they cross half court, usually, there's a trap taking place on the sidelines. Eberlein drive, the last couple possessions, doing a better job of getting the ball and keeping the ball in the middle third of the floor. Some players call it, the teams call it the channel or the tunnel. And that's going to be a lane violation on Amundsen. Team Colorado.
Amundsen baited him in there.
Yeah, he did. It's a good call. This is still anybody's basketball game. Again, that clock is going to turn off. And it's just going to be a target score to go to after the next dead ball after the 4-minute mark.
Hall, pull up 2. Rebound to Colorado. Copeland splits the double team. He is fouled at 4 minutes even on the clock. He'll be shooting free throws when we return here to Cal State LA. The Elam ending going into effect. First team to 83 will advance to the Super 16. Sylvie wants the win and has it. Josh Sylvie.
Here we go.
For the win.
Ball game.
Good.
This is the way you end games on the playground. Lob, dunk. Who's got next? The Elam ending, it's a very unique way to approach the ending of a basketball game. It's going to be revolutionary. You get a target score. You add 7 points to the team that's ahead. The first team to hit that score wins the game. And the big thing about that to me, David, is that every game will end with a made bucket.
They lost it. Alasaware. Up ahead. Seekers.
That's it.
No, that's it. First time here at Cal State LA, we'll have an Elam ending to decide who goes on to the Super 16. Eberlein drive, a 7-point advantage on the 2-seed Team Colorado. Sam Farber, Richie Schuler here with you at Cal State LA. Couple of significant things, Richie. One, Eberlein drive, who's only brought in 1 sub the whole game. 2 players with 5 fouls, so they've got a couple guys at the limit in Lou Amundsen and Osiris Eldridge. Also, Colorado fouled going into that Elam ending. They got a chance to score and maybe get the offensive momentum on their side right away.
Oh, that's interesting. And Team Colorado only 7 of 13 from the foul line. And they need to convert here. The clock is turned off. Target score 83, and they can just chip away at that. Now, how did this start? Nick Elam, basketball superfan, Mensa member. He's now a college professor, a Cincinnati Reds groundskeeper by night. He blindly emailed the TBT and had a PowerPoint presentation 67 pages long. His study, 2,000 basketball games, said 1.5% of the time teams that actually fouled to come back actually did. So why not turn the clock off and end deliberate fouling? And here we have Team Colorado with another chance to get to the free throw line and potentially make a comeback at this thing.
That is the 4th foul on Taylor Braun. Chris Copeland went 2 for 2 at the line. Now Marcus Hall will head there. Hall on the day is 1 for 2.
They need to convert on these, and this has been an Achilles heel for Team Colorado all day. They cannot make free throws consistently. They're at about 50%. It's killing them, absolutely killing them.
Colorado does get the rebound, though, so a second chance. Hall lays it in.
Look at this.
4-0 start to the Elam ending for Team Colorado. They needed a run of 14-6 or better to pull off the comeback.
Now, if you're Eberlein drive, you just need to continue playing the way you were. Obviously, it's a 3-point game, so every possession is even more magnified. But when you got players like Donald Sloan, he's made 6 3-pointers now. He's 11 of 15 from the field.
Eberlein drive now 4 points away from pulling off the upset. Relford hits the triple. He's got 11 in the second half. 3-point ball game, but the drive just 4 points away from winning it. And a foul is called on the drive. They are in the bonus, so Sloan's headed to the line.
Keep in mind,
foul on Hall.
Yeah, Team Colorado, 2016 TBT runner-ups, where they had a 20-point lead on Overseas Elite, ended up losing that game. Came down to the end. And this is a team they thought, with Richard Roby back in the lineup, injured with a shoulder last year, could make a strong push to win the TBT. And Eberlein Drive, number 7 seed, felt they got slighted with all this talent. Again, in 2014, they were ranked the worst team in TBT, and now very close to going to the Super Regionals. Super 16, rather.
Team Colorado trying to freeze Sloan. 30-second timeout taken by the Buffs. Let's listen in.
We're ready again, coach. Big here. Do what you're here to hold. Sprint down, give him pace, sprint down. If you can, roll it. I want to let you roll it, but not take as much time as we can. Because you got to sprint your ass down, so get right here. Where you at? All right? Mates, you coming up, pace, represent the screen, come off of it, deuce. You got Cope coming down. Flare up, hammer him, and give him to that corner. Let's see if we can make it. Go. Lay up, 3, put it down. Come on,
grab the rebound, let's go. This rebound most important.
Let's go. Wait on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Where?
Team Colorado, they have chipped away. They were down 7 when we started this Elam ending. It closed the gap to as few as 3. The Drive, it feels like they're less concerned about what Team Colorado is doing, more concerned about just chipping away again those last 7 points, and they're doing it effectively right now with Sloan.
Make here, yeah, they're going to go back into a 2-3 zone, I believe. No, Eberlein Drive decided to pick up full court. That's throwing an audible. I like it, though. Look at this, Eldridge really making it difficult for Marcus Hall, where the officials having to step in. I like this changeup. Team Colorado was not expecting a press. Aggressive mindset by Eberlein Drive. Here comes the screen coach just drew up, and it's an illegal screen. Excellent call by the official. We just saw Coach Dwight Thorne II draw that up, where he said set a screen right there in front of the bench where that Puma logo is, and it was an illegal screen. That is a costly turnover for Team Colorado. Look at it right here. Relford just used that left hip, pushed forward just a little bit. The official's right there. You can't hide that.
And it's also costly because that is foul number 6 on Relford. He is done. He had 11 in the second half, but he'll have to watch and hope that his fellow Buffalo alumni can prevent Eberlein Drive from scoring 2 more points. Sloan is at all 5 so far here in the Elam ending.
One bucket wins it, and it's Super 16 for Eberlein Drive.
Randall with the handle, 5 on the shot clock. Step back for the win. Offensive board for Kirk. Second opportunity. Randall, the floater. And the Buffalo alums are still alive. Shannon Sharp, reverse lay-in won't go down.
Eberlein Drive, stay patient, get the greatest high percentage shot you can get.
Sloan to Kirk, and he'll head to the line.
Gonna end this on a free throw?
Fouls on Roby, his second. Alex Kirk, 1 rebound away from a double-double. I don't know that you want to pad your stats so badly for a TBT double-double that you would risk losing the game.
What, you wouldn't miss the second free throw just to get the rebound?
I don't think so. 1 point away right now.
Right here, 1 free throw to the Super 16. Got it.
Eberlein Drive is alive and advancing to the Super 16, upsetting the 2016 runner-up, Team Colorado. What a victory for Eberlein Drive. An outstanding performance across the board, in particular from Donald Sloan, who puts up 32, including 5 of the final 7 points on the way to the win.
Got to give credit to Eberlein Drive, a team of guys that don't know each other that well, a team that has not had a lot of success in the TBT. This old cul-de-sac group now making things happen, going to the Super 16. And that's when the real competition is going to come to fruition. $2 million on the line August 3rd.
Sloan will do the honors. Eberlein drive. He'll take on Gale Force in the Super 16.
I am excited to see where Eberlein Drive takes this. Can they move forward into the next round? Super 16 in 2 weeks in Atlanta, Georgia. And Team Colorado, this is a team that will be back in the TBT year after year. I'm expecting to see them do big things. Runner-ups 2 years ago, and a 501c3 organization that's committed to having success in the TBT and reuniting these players year after year.
No reason for them not to be confident either that they can win it in the future. They just ran into a very, very efficient shooting Eberlein Drive team of professionals, especially that first quarter. And with that win, Eberlein Drive will take on Gale Force, another alumni team. One that, depending on who comes back from their NBA Summer League and various duties, could be even stronger for the Super 16. It'll be a very interesting and entertaining matchup, to be sure. We are going to get the star of the game, Donald Sloan, in just a moment. Sloan, 32 points in the victory for the Eberlein Drive, and he's going to join us right here. Donald, you guys go for 32. You had a huge first quarter in particular, but I want to talk about the Elam ending. You had 5 of the 7. What was the mindset going into it, knowing it's a team Colorado that's certainly capable of making up 7 points?
Well, honestly, we got a little sloppy at the end. We knew we needed 7 points, and I just really wanted to kind of get guys a little bit more organized, a little bit more calm, play a little bit more, subtle. And it just so happened that I had, 2 shots that ended up being part of the 7. But no, I just really wanted to get the ball, kind of really just control the tempo.
You seem to do a great job of that. You're like the calm of the storm for this team, and that first quarter was outstanding. You guys really set that tone. How about you guys being ranked at number 7 seed? The GM, Matt Mitchell, said you guys have a serious chip on your shoulder, thinking that you guys should have been seated higher.
That's okay. I think, me as a player who've always been, kind of underrated, playing with a chip, it works in our favor, kind of. So, people underestimate you and come out and get the work done.
You're one of the few NBA guys on this team moving on to the Super 16. Congratulations. Look forward to watching you guys in Atlanta going for another step towards that $2 million.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Big performance today from one of our superstars out there on the floor, Donald Sloan. 30-plus on the effort. He'll go for 32 in total. And Eberlein Drive advances. Richie, been a lot of fun working with you this weekend, my friend.
I'm going to shed a tear when I go home. Last game together.
A reminder, we've got much more round of 32 action coming up next. Challenge ALS versus City Team Blazers. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Richie Schuler, and our Tupelo Raycom team, in association with ESPN, I'm Sam Farber saying it's been a pleasure and a privilege